If you'd rather fight a bear than attend a crowded concert, congratulations. Your brain just saved you from a psychological nightmare that most people are too distracted to notice. And no, you're not damaged. You're just seeing something everyone else is blind to. This video is about what's actually happening in the brain of someone who can't stand crowded places. Not the surface explanation. The real neurological and psychological reasons, and why they point to something most people would never guess. We're going to go through why your brain processes reality at a completely different resolution than most people. Why small talk feels like chewing on cardboard, and the specific neurotransmitter difference that explains everything. By the end, you'll stop apologizing for needing to leave early. Number 1. There's a specific thing your brain does in crowds that has nothing to do with introversion, and it explains why you need 3 days to recover from a 2-hour event. That's coming. Picture this. It's Saturday night. Your phone buzzes. Hey, we're all meeting at that new spot downtown. Super packed, but the vibe is amazing. And immediately, something in you collapses. Not because you hate fun, but because your brain just calculated the cost of that vibe and decided it's not worth it. Here's what's actually happening. Most people's brains come with a spam filter. Walk into a crowd and their brain deletes about 90% of the input. Ignores the laugh across the room. Ignores the flickering light. Ignores the 17 conversations happening at once. Your brain? It screenshots everything. Records. Analyzes. Cross-references. Every shift in someone's body weight. Every micro-expression on a stranger's face. Every tonal change in the background music, processing it all simultaneously. Scientists call this sensory processing sensitivity. Research shows that approximately 20% of the population has this heightened sensitivity. 1 in 5 people walking around with their nervous system permanently set to receive everything. And your brain doesn't just collect this data, it stores it. Categorizes it, references it later. That random interaction from 3 weeks ago that nobody else remembers. Your brain filed it under possibly relevant and keeps pulling it up for review. That's not overthinking. That's your neural network doing exactly what it was designed to do. Make sense of patterns others miss entirely. Let's get one thing straight. You don't hate people. You hate the performance. In crowds, everyone's wearing a version of themselves. The "I'm having so much fun" version. The "I'm totally listening" version. The "I'm fine, everything's fine" version. While their eye is literally twitching. And you can see through every single one. Not because you're judgmental, because your brain is constantly translating the real conversation happening underneath the words. The body language, the energy, the truth nobody's saying out loud. Research has found that people who prefer solitude tend to score significantly higher on measures of emotional intelligence than their crowd-loving counterparts. You're not socially inept. You're socially sophisticated. You just refuse to play pretend. You'd rather have one honest conversation at midnight than attend 50 networking events where everyone is performing their highlight reel. The problem isn't that you can't do small talk. It's that your nervous system experiences it like chewing cardboard while everyone else acts like it's a 5-star meal. Your brain craves substance, depth, real connection. And when forced into surface-level exchanges, it revolts. Number 2. And there's a specific neurotransmitter reason why parties drain you while they energize everyone else. It's not what you'd expect. Here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. Dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, works completely differently depending on how your system is wired. When extroverts walk into a party, their brain throws a dopamine parade. Fireworks, confetti, the full celebration. Your brain? Silence. That's because your system runs predominantly on a different neurotransmitter, acetylcholine, which rewards introspection, deep focus, and being alone. It's not that social situations don't do anything for you. It's that your brain literally gets its reward from different sources. Reading at midnight, a solo walk where nobody asks you questions, sitting in a quiet room just thinking. Neuroscience research has found that introverted brains tend to have thicker gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for complex thinking and planning. So when you're sitting doing nothing, your brain is actually doing everything. Processing, connecting, creating. While extroverts need external stimulation to feel alive, you need internal space to access your full operating system. You're not wasting time in solitude. You're running your most powerful software. Number 1. And here's that thing I mentioned earlier. The real reason you need 3 days to recover from a 2-hour event. Ever walk into a room and immediately know something's wrong, even when everyone is smiling? That's because your brain has an amplified mirror neuron system. You don't just observe emotions, you absorb them. Spend an hour in a crowd and you're not just managing your own feelings. You're accidentally downloading everyone else's stress, anxiety, excitement, tension, like an emotional sponge nobody asked to be. That's the real reason crowds destroy you. Your nervous system is trying to process hundreds of people's emotional data while simultaneously remembering to function. No wonder you need 3 days to recover from a 2-hour event. Your brain did more emotional processing in those 2 hours than most people do in a week. But here's the other side of it. This same mechanism makes you one of the most emotionally intelligent people in any room. You understand subtext. You read between lines. You sense what people need before they say it. Most people barely understand their own emotions. You're processing everyone's. That's not a curse. That's a capacity most people would collapse under. And here's the part that reframes all of it. Society has this obsession with equating busy and loud with successful and happy. If you're not at every event, posting every moment, surrounded by people constantly, you're somehow failing at life. But here's what most people spend decades trying to figure out, and what you already know instinctively. Silence isn't empty. It's where clarity lives. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's where you actually meet yourself. You're not missing out by leaving early or staying home, or choosing quiet over chaos. You're opting out of a system that was never built for people who think deeply, feel deeply, and see deeply. The quietest rooms often hold the loudest truths. Your peace isn't isolation, it's liberation. So the next time someone asks, "Why don't you go out more?" remember what that question really is. They're asking why you don't drain yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for minds like yours. You're not broken. You're not boring. You're not antisocial. You're just built for depth in a world obsessed with noise. And that's exactly what makes you fascinating. Tell me, are you team crowds give me life, or team I'd rather befriend a cactus? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more psychology that actually explains why you think differently, subscribe. I make these every week for the people who see more than they let on. The next video dives into another trait most people misunderstand. And it's going to feel uncomfortably accurate. It's right there. Click it.